Hello and welcome. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to set up a simple deck in nanDECK, use some deck creating software that really just takes your images from nanDECK and turns them into a deck. And then I'm going to show you how to take that deck image and upload it into Tabletop Simulator for playtesting. Now, the main focus of this is going to be board game development, but learning how to do this could be helpful for any sort of mods you want to do on Tabletop Simulator. I'm not going to be super detailed on this. If you need more help with nanDECK, check out my first board game design tutorial, and I'll link it right up here. All right, let's get into this. Here we are, guys. So this is nanDECK. If you haven't seen it before, this is where we're going to be creating our simple deck of cards to work with. I already have one set up here, so I'm going to just show you what that looks like. We have the visual editor here, which allows you to drag and drop things essentially. So all of these items are just simple little text elements or image elements. This is very straightforward to use. It takes a little bit to get used to. The way that I'm getting this information is from a Google spreadsheet, and that's actually covered in my last video, which I'll link again up here, and I'll put it in the description as well. This is it. This is our deck. It's a deck of 3 cards, so very, very straightforward one. What we want to do now is head on down to these export options, and we're going to go to Save Images. I'm just going to select JPEG, and I'm going to navigate to where I want this to go, and save. Okay, perfect. So let me show you what that looks like. So then you see we have these 3 individual cards. We have our 3 cards totally ready to go for what we need them for. So I'm going to show you 2 ways to do this. Option number 1 is you can upload these individually, which in this case wouldn't be that bad. And that would just be going right into Tabletop Simulator and uploading 1 card at a time. But I think I'm going to walk you through the process of doing both. But first of all, I'm going to show you how to just set these up in a deck format. We're going to go into our Tabletop Simulator folder. And if you burrow down, I'm going to link the pathway to get there in the description. But if you burrow down, you'll find this deck editor software within the modding folder. This is straight up in Tabletop Simulator. It's very straightforward to use. So what we're going to do here is we're going to create a new deck. Now, this is very important. This needs to be the same size as your deck. So in our example, we have 3 cards. It's a deck of 3 cards. It needs to be at least 2 wide, and then it needs to be, I believe it's at least 2 tall. So this is 1 more card than we need, but that's okay. You kind of have to just get close. It's generally not exact. And you'll just end up with a black card that you need to delete at the end. It's really easy to deal with. I'll show you how to take care of it. So then we click OK. And we have our new deck here. And then we just come over to our file here, highlight, drag, drop. Look at that. Here are our 3 cards, and then we have our 4th empty one. Not a big deal, easy to deal with. All right, so there we go. That's our deck right there. Already dragged it in. So then you don't have to do this step, but I generally do for future updates. So you can just save your deck, save that guy. We have this PTS deck editor. This is saving it for future editing here. What you need to do to actually use this in Tabletop Simulator is come into here and say export. Example deck PNG, perfect. And now we look at our folder here and we have this example deck.png. And actually for future reference, what you're going to want to do is, so this is a really straightforward example, but just for your own sanity, is you're going to want to name this the width times the height, okay? to save you a lot of hassle, especially if you're importing a lot of decks. So make sure you do that because it is going to make your life a lot easier. Okay, so now we have our individual cards. We have them set up as a deck. Now it's time for Tabletop Simulator. Hey, I hope you're enjoying this, but let me stop you for a quick second and just say don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps me out, and I want you to help me help you more. Yeah, now let's get back to this. Once we get into Tabletop Simulator, this is actually really straightforward. You just go to Create, Single Player, close this, go Objects, Components, Custom, and then here are your card and deck options. So for card, it's super straightforward. You lay it down, you right click on it, and you choose the face and the back. These are just those local files that you set up. I would show you, but Tabletop Simulator keeps crashing on me. The same thing for the deck here. Right click, so you choose your face card, you choose the back, and then this is where it gets important. So we set our width based on our width and height that we set up for the deck initially, which ours was 2x2. And then we do the card count, which even if you have some black empty cards that you're going to delete, this just needs to match up or else things get funky. Okay, so our deck is four cards, even though one of them is throwaway. And then you would hit import, but Tabletop Simulator is crashing on me, so I'm not going to actually do that. But you grab your deck for your face, and then you just have whatever card backing you want. It is required though, so make sure you add something. And now you may be wondering, how do I maintain this for later? And it's actually really easy. You just go to Games, Save and Load, and save a game. And you just create yourself a new save file. Alright, after you get all your new objects, your decks and your cards, once you bring all those in, you get your game saved so that you can come back to it and play again. If you want to share this with a broader audience, there's this modding option, which you just go Workshop Upload, enter a title, description, picture, and then you upload it. And it's that easy. And then you could always come over here, grab the workshop ID, and then update it. So this tool is incredibly useful for playtesting because you can bring in pretty much whatever custom objects you need, along with being able to make updates, being able to get playtesters. This is a really good way to give your game a try without really having to spend money. Because I've done a few physical prototypes and they are a lot of work. This is also a decent amount of work to get all your assets and everything in, but you only have to do it once. And then every time you make an update, you just update, minor change. This is just such an easier process. And then especially now with all the quarantine stuff, like for playtesting, this is a great option to be able to reach a broader audience. So I would highly recommend giving this approach a try. There are any number of ways to set up decks and get your cards created, but I think this is a really good approach for beginners. This is what I've been using and it's worked really well so far. But let me know if you guys have any other approaches that you prefer or anything that's worked well for you. Alright guys, I hope you found that helpful. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I will see you in my next video.